everyone.
I didn't say to any Harry.
If you're watching.
Today we're just going to be doing a weekly review. I'm Jake, to my right is Dan, to my left is Josh, and to his left is Connor. So, starting with Fulham versus Man City, with Fulham not scoring and City getting 3. Firstly, let's start off with Fulham dropping 3 points. Are they going down? Have they just sold the fate? Not Josh.
I think it's harsh to say they've sold the fate because they're probably the most informed team out of, if you look at Burnley, Brighton, Newcastle and them, is probably before one of them will be taking the last spot. They're probably in the best form, playing the best football. So I wouldn't say a 3-0 against Man City when you're in the relegation zone anyway sealed your fate. Most teams down and around there to lose 3-0 to Manchester City.
Most teams in the league probably lose 3-0 to Man City. But I think the thing is, we said it before, we obviously looked at their running compared to the other teams. They've got a tough running. It's a shame because they are in form. They have been playing very well. But I just think that the games that they've got, I think personally, I think they're too tough for them. And I think it's a shame that I think they will still go down because of the games they've got coming up.
Yeah.
But they should have picked up points earlier in the season.
It's not they're in this position.
They're in that position, and they've got very tough games coming up. But they probably aren't. Realistically, they're not going to win.
Yeah.
It would be a big shock if they do win. For me, compared to the other teams, they've got the toughest running, and it's like Ravo said. Yeah, you expect them to get beat, but does it send them down? They should have picked up more points throughout the season. They haven't done. They've left themselves in one very, very tricky position now because the games that they've got coming up, again, they're not really likely to win.
Yeah, they've got Leeds United next, I think it is. Let me just check that, so I'm not. Yeah, it is on Friday. I see they could pick up some points there, but the rest, just no way. I don't see it happening.
Well, they've got to beat Leeds.
That's the big one.
Yeah.
And then they've got to try and go on another run again. The reality is they're in the position where they have to win.
Yeah.
And with other teams picking up points.
Yeah.
But they have to beat Leeds.
I think the thing is even if you beat Leeds, I think they've got Tottenham coming up. They've got to go at Tottenham.
They've got Newcastle on the last game of the season. If it's not done by then,
then it's a big one. But
Fulham aren't going as teams, but Fulham are not. They're not. I think they know the position here. They went to Anfield, went at Liverpool. It was a rested Liverpool side, but they've got to do that in every game, and I think Fulham will because that is their style. Yeah. That seems to be what Scott Parker wants to do, and I think they'll do that. They've got to go at Leeds. They've got to go at teams like Tottenham because the reality is they've got an awful running, but they need to find points from somewhere. They've got to go and beat some of these teams if they want to stay in the Premier League.
But to be fair, when they've gone at teams this season, we've watched them quite a bit, and when they've gone at teams, they're good.
Yeah.
They're very good. They've picked up some cracking points you wouldn't expect them to get. But I agree with Connor, with the games coming up, Leeds, they've got to beat Leeds. They just have to do that. But then, that Tottenham one, especially with the way Tottenham play, I think Fulham have just got to go with them. Fulham are in a situation now, they've just got to go at teams and hope they can grab 3 points.
The question is though, I feel like they will be going down, but do you reckon they'll be coming up in after next season? Do you reckon they'll bounce back?
It's hard because when Fulham went down last time, everyone said, they'd spent all this money, they were going to come back up. But the reality is, when you go down, you have to get rid of some of the players. I think it depends a lot on whether Scott Parker stays, whether he can keep the nucleus of the squad. If he does, then 1,000,000% they're coming back. I think they'll walk the Championship, and that's a mad prediction because no one can predict the Championship. But I think if he can keep the nucleus of the squad and he stays 100%, they should be coming back.
Yeah. I think that's the big one. I think if you look at them, they've got a lot of players in their team who aren't. They're not Championship players. No. They are too good for the Championship. And there'll be teams either that come up or teams that maybe just stay up now. Maybe a couple of them, even bigger teams, mid-table teams, they'll be snooping around them.
Yeah.
And it does, like I said, that it really does fall down to if you do go down, can they keep all of the players? Can they keep all of the important ones? I think there'll be teams sniffing around there that could overread. I think there'll be teams sniffing around. I think Joaquin Anderson, I think he's on loan, so he'll be going. I think he's been vital for them this season. They've got quite a few players who I do think that there'll be teams in the Premier League who will sniff
Yeah.
around them.
Sambo
Guise.
I agree completely with what both of you said, but I think out of the three teams, if it does stay as it is for a go down, Fulham are by far in the best stead to have a real go at coming back up.
Yeah.
But what I don't want to see is sort of what happened to QPR a few seasons ago, where we've come into the Prem, they've spent loads of money, like your Tabrad, your Cranshaws, it hasn't worked, and then they've ended up with a lot of big wages, no room for manoeuvre with a squad that's not working together. Obviously, Fulham's is compared to QPR's, but if some leave, well, you've still got some big players in, and you can only get low championship players who you think might be okay.
Yeah.
And then if you're stuck in there for a few seasons, then it might be flat. But like I say, I think they are in the best position to have a real go at it.
With Fulham, is you've got Mitrovic that isn't playing, Tom Kearney isn't playing, but if they drop to the Championship and let's say they don't make Josh Madger's move permanent, they don't, like Zambo and Guise goes, those players will slot in and are fantastic Championship players.
Yeah.
That's the thing with Fulham. You look at the players that aren't playing, that will play if they play in the Championship, and they're fantastic. It's a Championship squad.
Well, we've seen it before. Mitrovic, last season in the Championship, superb.
Yeah.
They have got those players, but I think the worry with the likes of Fulham is they've got a lot of big names, as I've said. But I think if say Zambo and Guise goes, and a few of the other players then see him getting moved to the Prem, and they know there's a few clubs sniffing around, I think there'll be a few more than Ed's turn, and they'll go.
Yeah.
And then Fulham then are in a tricky position, but I think they will, even with that, I think they will still have enough to just come back up.
Well, another low team, low on the table team, so I say. Brighton got a big result this weekend, 2-0 against Southampton.
2-1, wasn't it?
Oh, 2-1, yeah, sorry, that's my bad. Which is vital points for Brighton, getting 3 big points. Josh, you got anything to say about the performance?
I don't see them conquering too much on performance, but 3 points in itself in the situation they're in is massive. Like Southampton have been on best form, but they have quality in the team, good quality on paper Premier League side, so it's a massive 3 points for them to get. It puts them 3 points clear in the table, still with the game in hand. Like I've said in the last few podcasts, I'll say it again. What I think will send Fulham down is the fact Newcastle and Brighton have the game in hand and it's in their own destiny.
Yeah. I think, we just talked about Fulham have to be beating the teams around them. They haven't done that. Brighton clearly are doing. Right? Yeah. So we talk about Fulham going to Leeds next week. They have to go and beat them. Southampton haven't been on a great run of form. Brighton have seen it. They've seen that. They've looked at it and gone, lads, look, not only can we get 3 points here, but we need 3 points here. They've took the game to Southampton. They've come away. I tell you what, at St Mary's, that is a superb result for Brighton. Absolutely cracking. Vital 3 points, but they're going to teams that are in and around them or that aren't in a good run of form, and they're getting points. That is something that the other teams down there aren't doing.
Yeah, a good point. So could this 3 points be a step in the right direction to helping them stay up?
It's not even a step, it's a jump, it's a leap. Yeah. I watched the highlights of the game, the extended highlights. I didn't watch the game, but Brighton were fantastic. Southampton scored because it was a mistake at the back by Brighton. Brighton controlled the game, they were absolutely. Yeah. To go to Southampton, yes, okay, they're in awful form. To go to Southampton and control the game, bit of a derby if you want to call it that. It's huge. It's a crucial result for them. We're talking about that result being the one that you could look back at the end of the season in the step and say, that was massive, that was huge, that was colossal.
100%. I think the thing is as well is the teams around them, Brighton, Newcastle, those sorts of things. As we've spoken about Fulham's running, Brighton no doubt Brighton will have looked at that running. Right? They'll look at that and gone, right, look, we know Fulham are playing City at the weekend. We know they've got to go to Leeds. We know they've got Tottenham coming up. Brighton will look at their games and go, right, look, it doesn't matter if they're playing them, because if we don't win and they drop points, it's irrelevant. We're in the same position.
What I will say is, Brighton's next game, I've just seen James goes up, Newcastle, so
massive.
Yeah.
If they win that you talk about them being safe.
I would say whoever wins is safe, but I wouldn't quite put Newcastle as 100% safe if they do go 3 points. But if Brighton do, takes them to takes them up to 32, takes them
Just
6
on,
points clear with a game in hand.
Nah,
if Fulham lose the
they'll be
league.
fine. But that's what I mean. They'll be looking at Fulham's running and the games that they've got and going, lads, if we pick up points here, we know that they're not expected to win.
I think Fulham can't have that mentality though, and it's the mentality that we have at Wigan and our manager sort of instills constantly. Let's not look at what anyone else is doing. The reality is we have to win games. Probably looking at the other teams' runnings, you probably go, like that crap. Like, but we've got an awful run in it.
Yeah.
I feel like you can't. Fulham have to stop looking at that now and go. The reality is we've got an awful running, but we have to win games. Let's forget what other teams are doing.
Yeah.
We have to win games.
I don't know if Fulham are doing that, but I think the likes of Brighton and Newcastle, I think as much as they'll be focusing and going, yeah, we need to get 3 points, they'll also know, right, that Fulham are playing Man City.
Yeah.
And they'll know in the back of their minds, whether they say it or not, they will know we can go and beat Southampton.
Yeah.
They're playing Man City, right? We go and get 3 points, knowing that they probably are going to lose.
Yeah.
It's not only a 6-pointer. This game now for 3 points, as Banks said before, this could be the game we look back at and say this kept us up.
Yeah.
So it's not coming out as such in the front and going, right lads, Fulham playing City today, so let's go and win. It's focus what we, but it's in the back of everyone's minds. Yeah. It will be, whether it's as a team, whether it's individuals, it will be in Brighton's mind. Fulham have that running, but that's what they have to use to go and get the points. They've done it at Southampton. If they do it at Newcastle, I think they'll be all right there.
Just to say though, after Newcastle they have Man United, then Everton, and then Chelsea.
Fulham, sorry.
No, this is
Brighton.
Brighton. Which I think, even though I have a strong inkling that they'll be beating Newcastle, but the next 3 games, I see them losing points as well.
They won't come away with 12 from the next 4, but
Yeah.
I don't think they'll lose all. Like the way United can set up, and if they come at Brighton can counter that.
Yeah.
Might nick a point. Everton have been hit and miss lately. It depends which Everton team shows up. That's a good chance, especially at the Amex.
Yeah. But that's the game I think they'll look at all 3 of them and go, we can get points in. I think the United one is Brighton have gone and got some good points against big teams this year. They really have. But again, it's a tough running, but for me, out of 3 teams, I think they're in the best situation.
Yeah.
Well, since Everton was brought up, let's move on to their game against Burnley, which they lost. Let me just get the score. I've lost it. 2-1 to Burnley. So, obviously, for Everton, that's a big loss. And Burnley getting 3 points, do you think that's now secured their position staying in the Prem, or are they still at risk of?
We've talked about Burnley a little bit when we've talked about the record. We've always said that they've probably just done it already.
I've not really wanted to mention the chat before, but I do
That's
think
a
it's
massive
3
result.
points.
In general,
It's a massive result in football,
going to
today,
Goodison, winning 2-1, playing quite well.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. But I didn't really think they were in trouble, but that for me is.
Hasn't won in 5 before that though, so maybe it's just that bit of extra confidence to guarantee they see it out.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't have been mentioning him in the.
No, I wouldn't have done looking at other teams, but as Connor said there, look, 3 points at Goodison, not just for Burnley, but for any team, honestly, any team in the league, 3 points at Goodison, this season especially, is a good 3 points.
Yeah.
Any team that would walk away from Goodison this season and say, they get 3 points, that is a good 3 points. For Burnley to do it is fantastic. But we said before, Everton have been hit and miss. So teams will be looking at it. Which they've been good, right? Teams will be looking at Everton going, we could get points here. Fair play to Burnley. I think it's testament to Sean Dyche, the fact that he's gone away. He knows he's got a tough game coming up. He's obviously looked at how Everton play, and he's managed to come away with 3 points. But yeah, I think, as you said there, Josh, I think that for Burnley is the confidence. I think they'll know they're safe. Well, they'll think they've done enough to be safe, but I know Sean Dyche won't stop them there. And he'll tell it's the end of the season job. But fantastic 3 points for Burnley. Everton, I think they'll be looking at it when 3 points drops.
Yeah.
We're looking at where they are in the 7th in the league.
Yeah.
You have to go Burnley's a game We should win.
Yeah, and in their situation, even for 7th, the teams like Burnley are the teams. Obviously, we spoke last week. We said not top 4, but even when you're talking European competition, you're talking Europa League or this new Europa Conference League. If they're not beating teams like Burnley, but the teams around them, they've been quite fortunate this week, right? That other teams around them also haven't won. But if they go and lose to Burnley, if they got beat off Brighton in a few weeks, there's teams creeping up behind them there that could easily come in and nick a European spot. And that's when I think, if Everton miss out on Europe this season, I think that's when they look at it and go, actually, from where we was, this is a very disappointing finish.
Yeah.
Because at the start of the season, we were talking top 4. They were top of the league for a little bit.
Yeah.
We obviously knew they were going to drop
The
off.
Villa Everton title race from the
Yeah,
first couple
right.
of months of the season we had.
We knew they were going to drop off. But to be holding European spots all the way through the season, if they then miss out on it, they'd be looking at that as very, very disappointing end.
Well, say if you were Everton's manager now, what would you be saying to that team to, because I imagine a big loss against Burnley is going to hit them hard. What would you be saying to keep the confidence up, keep them moving forward?
I don't think you have to take them in and say we should have won that game. You have to say, look, the reality is we played Burnley. Look at where they're at in the league. Look at where we want to be in the league. We should have won that game. I don't think they'd necessarily lose so much confidence in one result, but you've got to say, if we want to go and get Europe, which we should be getting this season because of the season we've had, we have to win those games.
Yeah.
It's not about sitting and cuddling them after the game, like, oh, come on, we're fine. If you do want to be Europe, you have to be mean, you have to be aggressive, and you have to win games like that.
Yeah, I think one thing you probably will be saying is, I agree, he's got to be told because they're the games he needs to win in. But I said before, Everton have had a cracking season. Really, they've been fantastic. I think it'll be a case of, look, lads, we should have won that game. And as Banks said, these are the games we need to be winning. Yeah. But back in training on Monday, focus again. We go again next weekend, and we secure them European spots. That's it. It's got to be.
The next league game's Crystal Palace at home. So it's an
got
ideal opportunity to bounce back.
That's what he's got to be saying to them. Back in training Monday, lads. We go the week. Palace at the weekend. That's 3 points. We've got to go and pick up 3 points. We've got to be beating those teams.
Where do you think? So are you saying if they finish just outside, we're saying bad season if they finish outside?
If you were to look at what Everton was compared to them finishing 8th, I think you'd say it's a great season.
Yeah.
I think where they've been all season, for them to at the very back end of the season drop out of those European places, I think they'll look back at the season and say, for 75% of the season there, we held European spots.
Yeah.
To then finish outside of it after being in it for 75% of the season, I don't think it's a disappointing season for Everton Football Club, but I think from where they were, where they have been, to miss out on Europe, I think they'd be a disappointment for them.
Jake, let's play devil's advocate, and I'm going to put you in a position you probably don't want to be a Liverpool fan. Imagine you're an Everton fan.
All right, it's hard.
Think about where you finished last season. It wasn't a great season.
Where did they finish last season, actually?
It wasn't. It was a bit of irrelevance. Somewhere like mid. If you finish 8th this season, you've had a good season. You probably should have got Europe. If you finish 8th, you're an Everton fan in this situation.
Oh, okay.
Are you unhappy?
I mean,
of the growth of where you've come from, or are you looking at like Dan makes a valid point. It's a very valid reason. Yeah, they've held European places all season. They've dropped out of it. But do you look at it as we finished 14th, 15th last season, we finished 8th this season? Yeah. It's growth. Which way do you look at that?
You have to see it as growth. Like obviously, moving 6, 7 positions. That's pretty good in just over a summer. Especially with these with the COVID changes. Not having the fans in to support.
Big one.
Stuff like that. Gaining them 6 or 7 places will be massive, and they might be a bit good that they didn't secure like European place, but.
So are you disappointed, or are you looking at it on the other side as an Everton fan? Are you disappointed that you didn't get Europe, or are you saying, okay, but we've gone up
Well, looking at the season they had, I feel like most Everton fans will be a bit gutted or a bit upset. But I don't think they'll like just right off the season like, oh, we've had a terrible season.
Yeah.
I do feel like they will be happy with the season they have had.
Yeah, obviously there's going to be the sense of sort of what ifs, what was. They'll be looking at certain games going, that extra couple of points would have put us there. What if we would have been out in Europe, in the Europa League, in the Champions League? Maybe we were looking at 1 point more. I think last week's podcast we talked a lot about the project that's happening in Everton. We've got Ancelotti in. He's got a brilliant, young, talented nucleus to the team.
Mm-hmm.
And if he can build and expand on that and stays manager, which I think he will, he's enjoying it there. The players are enjoying working with him. The board and fans are delighted with him. Knowing what we could go out and do next season with a successful summer, which Ancelotti's a pull. The only thing I'd be saying is we missed out on Europe, so Paul's not as strong as it could have been. But Ancelotti can get transfers right. He can get them playing well. I think it'd be the sense of what ifs and what buts more so than any sort of disappointments.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is both. I think the progress they've made is exceptional. They've been fantastic. The only reason I think I make the point I do is I think if they were chasing the European spots and they were in and out of it, they were touch and go on them, then I don't think really if you missed that you'd be disappointed. You go, well, we were in and out of the all season. Like we said there was a point you're talking top four for Everton.
Yeah.
There was a point now, especially where you're going, look, Everton haven't dropped out of European places, I don't think, pretty much all season.
Yeah.
If they were to do it at the back end of the season, as much as the progress they would say, yeah, it's been excellent, it has. I think, and you'll probably know better than anyone, to be honest, being a Wigan fan when you were in the Prem. That back end of the season, that last little run in there, that's your most important time. It doesn't really, it does matter how you start, but then last 10, 15 games,
it takes where you finish.
They're the big ones. They're the ones Everton, I think, have got to go. If they miss out on the European spots, they're the ones who've got to go, we've got to finish that season. It's all well and good being good, great and fantastic for 75% of it. Come them last 10 games, 30 points. That's what you need to pick up.
I agree. We mentioned in the last podcast, Fulham's picking up points at the right time.
Every team, whether you're in the relegation zone, obviously not this season, but whether you've got a title race in your hands, whether you're looking for European spots, those last 10 games are the games you've got to finish strong. It's been a tough season for everyone this year. There's obviously been games left, right, and centre, but the last 10 games are the games they secure where you finish. You have to finish strong at that back end. If Everton don't do it and they miss out on Europe, that's when I think they'll be looking at it going, but these are the games really we need to be seeing out of season. But I agree, the progress has been exceptional.
Well, just had a comment from Mr. Carl Johansson 1. Quick question, unrelated to football. Why is the lad on the far right so damn good looking?
Thank you. That's all I'm going to say.
I'd like to say, if you're looking at it from where we're sat, I'm also on the far right. So, thank you, Carl. We knew you were on that.
Alright, well, moving on from Everton, who's dropped places, to West Ham and Man United, where it was a 1-0 win for United. So, firstly, West Ham dropping from the top positions, after this game. They really shouldn't be doing it, they were throughout the middle of the season, they were the ones we were they're going to finish top four, and now I don't know if you can say that.
Well, this is what I think. My point about Everton, I don't think applies to West Ham, because I think, I can't see West Ham dropping out of the European places, but look, if West Ham don't get top four, you're not going to look at it and go, can't believe we missed out on top four. They'll finish this season, regardless of whether they finish 5th, 6th or 7th, they'll look at this season and go, what a season. Yeah. Everyone in football, not just West Ham, everyone in football will look back on this season and go, what a job David Moyes has done. Whether it's 5th, 6th or 7th.
On the flip side of that, and we were talking about it before, I think you have to say, we said in our first podcast, United's issue in terms of finishing in the top four was beating teams in and around them, West Ham are not in the big six as such, but right now they're in and around United. United seem to have a way, even if it's an ugly way, even if it's not a nice way and it's not an attractive way, they seem to be, at the minute, finding a way to beat teams in and around them. Beating City, beating West Ham, there was another one as well that's gone from my head that they got a good result as well. Can't remember, it could have been. Yeah, but they seem to be able to grind out results, even if a team comes to Old Trafford and just sits there. It was Wolves, yeah. Teams can come to Old Trafford and sit back, which, you know, as a Liverpool fan, at the minute, you're struggling with that. You're struggling with that. United seem to have some way of breaking that down.
Yeah, and do you know what? Like, obviously not this season, they're not. But those games, and again, I was a Liverpool fan because we didn't enough last season. Those games are the ones that win you titles.
Yeah.
We saw Leicester do it. Leicester won the league, right, really, on 1-0. Was it pretty for them? Well, it wasn't pretty football. I mean, to be fair, at times they played very good football. But a lot of games were 1-0, but they won the league.
Yeah.
But last season, as a Liverpool fan, I remember Villa, we scored, if we come from behind and we scored in the like 85th and 90th minute, we won the game. I don't look back at it like that now and go, disappointing that we did that. But they're the games, right? Yeah. They are the games that win you titles. If Manchester United can build on the squad, as we've said, and continue to do that next season, pains me to say this, but that they will be there or thereabouts again.
And big news out of United, it looks like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can get a 3-year contract at the end of the season.
I thought you were going to judge him about the news this week, but he says we get sacked. Yeah, he's finished second, we're going to sack him.
He's like, there are still United fans saying, even if he gets second and wins the Europa League, they still sack him because he doesn't play attractive football.
Yeah, but look,
is this football fan mentality? Like, if you
finish Manchester United mentality. I think a lot of Man United fans, and do you know what? I think what it is with a lot of United fans is they still see themselves as these glory days of Manchester United. And look, all right, yeah, we talk about them as the biggest club in England, but they've not won anything for years, right? But I think they still look at a lot of fans and go, oh, we should be winning things, we should be winning this, we should be winning this. But in reality, right now, they shouldn't be. But the progress they've made, look, I wasn't keen on Oli when he come in, but nobody can actually argue the job he's done. And any Manchester United fan that says we should still sack him because he doesn't do this and just look, if they won a league title on the back of playing football like they have been doing, not one Manchester United fan would complain about the football they're playing. Fergie did it. Fergie did it. He always found ways to grind that result, pick up points in the last minutes of the games. I don't hear one Manchester United fan complain about it because they won titles. Give Ollie time. Do I think they'll win titles? Maybe. But I think they could go and win a domestic cup. I think if they strengthen, they could have a decent little run in Europe. It's progress for United now. Champions League football again next season.
I know a director of footballing. Massive. Something that I think every football fan has said that they've needed for years now. And it finally putting one in place.
Yeah, and it looks like there was news this week about Glazer is putting up more shares of the club, selling more shares. Again, something United fans have called for years. If they, to be honest, I think it's a successful season anyway for United. Yeah. But I know we spoke the other day, Colin, talked about what they need to go and do. If they strengthen, look, it's about progress right now for Manchester United. Everyone knows that they're a lot of miles away from City. Every team in the league right now is miles away from City. Yeah. But if you can say that you finish second behind that Manchester City team, regardless of how many points they finish, you've made a lot of progress. It's a good season, a very good season. Because we've said it before, Man United fans don't expect it. United don't expect it either. They probably didn't think they would be there, but they are. Fair play to Ollie, he's done a cracking job. Well, finally, they are beating teams around them.
Well, it's clearly about United not being able to beat teams that stay back. You know, like
no, United are beating teams.
Oh no, United finally beating teams that are staying back. Sorry, that was my mistake. Yeah. Connor, how do you think they managed this? Like, because they've had a run of not being able to.
It's just, every team seems to be struggling with it at the minute. Liverpool struggling with it. Teams sitting back when they come to big games. The reality is the small teams are going to do it. United being able to beat teams like that is going to put them high up in the league. Like it just is, and it's what every team needs to do. Like Dan just said, to win titles, the only way you're going to win titles is if you can grind out results in that.
Yeah, I think one of the big points on it, if I'm quite honest, could be Bruno Fernandes. Yeah. Obviously against West Ham, he didn't score, but
It was fantastic.
It was superb.
There was 2 passes he made. I was like, I haven't seen that.
And do you know what? That's what it's the creativity he brings. He's for me, he's by far the best cam in the league.
Yeah.
He creates chances. He can have 10 men behind the ball, and that man, you know what I mean? He will find the pass. Ollie says sometimes he gets frustrated because he plays a difficult pass. No, I think Bruno Fernandes actually sees passes that 95% of other players just do not see. And
that's a key part of breaking down teams.
It's massive.
If you've got someone that can think those balls in, the backline aren't predicting, you're in behind.
To be quite honest, 95% of players won't see those passes. The fact of the matter is, if Bruno's the only one seeing them, the 10 players behind the ball, none of them even know he's going to play that pass. None of them would have seen that pass. So I think he is the key. He really is. But I know we spoke the other day again about Bruno Fernandes. That's where they've got to go and strengthen because they can't rely on him. He's been without doubt the most important player. Yeah. And he's been outstanding. But they can't rely on him. But that is where they're breaking teams down, is the creativity for that midfield of Fernandes and the chances that they do create. You create 10, 15, 20 chances a game. With the quality that Manchester United have up front, chances are they're going to put one away. Yeah. That's what they're doing. They're creating chances. And it's what a lot of teams in the league right now are struggling with when teams do sit back.
We'll just pause. I know we've had a couple of comments. Are any worth reading now?
They're just talking about CR sending a message.
I will just say to anyone that's watching, feel free to put comments, but if it's not really related, we're not going to go off on different. Yeah. We have a set thing, but feel free to put comments in about stuff we're talking about, and we will.
Yeah, today's got the Prem, so any Prem questions or anything like that.
We will. I will say this. Starting Saturday, we will have a Gillette Saturday style stream coming out. What we'll do. Those sort of questions just generically about and massive. If you've got some, whether it's Premier League, whether it's comparing 2 players who you can compare. Don't ask me to compare. Lewandowski to Paolo Maldini. But if that style stream, ask us anything.
Well, because you're even commenting, in a one-word answer, Messi for me, and we'll move on with the podcast.
Ronaldo for me, and that's.
I'll sit on the fence. Moving on.
There we go. Neymar. Compared, discussed.
All right. Well, moving on from Manchester United and West Ham to something that's made me and Dan very happy recently. Liverpool winning a game 1-0 against Wolves.
We did it.
It's finally happened.
We did it. We got 3 points.
It is. But before we talk about how good they were in the game, let's have a little look at Liverpool's run compared to Chelsea and United.
Oh, Dan, we can do it. I've
We're going runnings. Okay.
No, I've got them all here. So, I'll compare it to Manchester United as well. So, they've got a nice little rating here as well. Apparently, our difficulty is 3 out of 10, which after Liverpool's form, that probably sits a bit high. But we've got Arsenal next, Aston Villa at home, Leeds, Newcastle, Manchester United, Southampton, West Brom, Burnley away, finish the season at Palace. Chelsea have got West Brom, Palace, Brighton, West Ham, Fulham. Then it's a very tricky end for Chelsea. They then play Man City away, Arsenal at home, and then Leicester at home. They finish the season at Villa away. And then there's no point comparing ours to Manchester United's winning because we're not aiming that high. But the top four, Liverpool, Chelsea right now, I think after the 3 points, Liverpool, Chelsea, both teams have tough games. But City, Arsenal and Leicester for Chelsea in 3 weeks is back to back it's tough games. But you look at how Chelsea have been playing, we'll get to that later on. The thing, look, obviously I was happy Liverpool getting 3 points this week. Yeah. The big one for me is, now, again, I'll say it wouldn't have been said, but in the back of the Liverpool players' minds, we obviously played Monday. They've seen the results over the weekend. They know that not one team around us this week won. Yeah. None. I said it to all of you all weekend. We get 3 points on Monday. It is massive. It's huge. That turned into a 6-pointer for Liverpool because every team around us got beat. We took our chances. I'm not going to sit here and say we played incredibly well because realistically, I don't think we did. We played a lot better than what I've seen us play recently. Jota he creates chances.
He was brilliant.
He was fantastic. He's creating chances.
He's a bit of fresh. He brings a bit of life back into the team.
I think it's probably from him because he's just probably glad to be back playing football. And I think the team, he offers something a little bit different to what Firmino offers. But look, a few things have gone right for Liverpool the last couple of weeks. We finally seem to be settled on a centre-back partnership.
Yeah.
Who, to be fair, both are playing very well. They're playing well together.
Yeah.
Fabinho back in it.
He's been massive for us.
People talk about missing Van Dijk. People talk about missing Joe Gomez. These top players, Henderson, these players. I think the biggest miss for Liverpool this season has been Fabinho in midfield.
Yeah.
You ask any of our centre-backs, right, and they will all say, look, I tell you what, our job is 100 times easier when that man is sat in front of us.
Yeah. But he did put an amazing job in at centre-back, but that's just not where he plays. It's not where he thrives.
It's not as a centre-back. Doing the same for you, I don't know if you ever had a fantastic CDM in front of you. If you played with Wilfred and Didi once, didn't you?
Yeah. I made him look good, mate.
Yeah.
You got him
When you're a centre-back, right, whether you think you're incredible or whether actually you're just average, if you've got a world-class defensive midfielder sat in front of you, you relax your game because you know, not you relax, nothing's coming through, but you feel more confident. You know you're not going to get peppered with chances. You feel more confident because you'll know, look, he's going to lead in front of us. You prepare yourself for if the ball does come through. 90% of the time, you've got to play like that in front of you. The ball doesn't really come through.
Yeah.
You don't really need to worry that much. I think we saw it when we watched Wolves. A lot of their play came down the wings. It came out wide. They didn't want to play through the middle because they knew everything was just going to get cleared up. A lot of the times we saw it, the ball got spread out to Adama Traore, let him run. Now, did it work? To some degree it did. But they didn't want to play anything through the middle, and I think it's because they knew you had the likes of Fabinho in there. And then you've got a centre-back partnership, and they are now playing well together. But I do still think there's improvement. I didn't think we were incredible.
The goal was lucky, I have to say.
Well, I don't want. Well, I am going to say it. It was poor keeping. We also that poor keeping.
It was.
But on that, we would like to wish our best here to Rui Patricio. Obviously, terrible what happened. Unfortunate. Again, I think it'll be a topic for Saturday, but I think the offside rule, in terms of the flag going up later on, that really is what caused that incident.
Yeah.
Because the passage play continued. But I think that's something we'll talk about on Saturday. But yeah, wish all our best to Rui Patricio. Terrible to see it happen. And I tell you what a shame for Wolves because second player to have something like that. Obviously, Raul Jimenez is a lot worse. He seems to be doing fantastically well. Obviously, at the game. To have two players like that,
two key players.
Two massive.
No disrespect to John Ruddy, but he's nowhere near Rui Patricio for the team and the impact he can have on them.
Yeah, but no, I think the win against Wolves was massive for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Massive, and I will say I do think we've put ourselves back in the top 4 race.
Yeah, I can see we're in 6th now, and let me just pull up the who we've got next.
We've got Arsenal next.
It's all just dependent on whether Liverpool can go on a run. They've had a few iffy results.
If
they can cut out those iffy results, then yeah, I think they've. For me, I'd say 2 weeks ago, I'd say the door was locked on Liverpool. I'd now say that they've unlocked the door. I don't think the door's open.
No,
I think they've unlocked the door.
And I think that's the key thing because look, I'm not saying now that we're doing this incredible run. We've seen it before. We beat Tottenham, West Ham. They went terrible again.
Yeah.
We got a cracking result in Europe. We beat Sheffield United, which we all agree was a bit irrelevant. But then we went terrible again.
Yeah.
we've now got to push forward, keep it going. If we can keep this team settled, Kabak, Phillips, Fabinho through, we can keep it settled and we can keep playing the way we have been, improving week by week as that team settles in. Then I think we will pick up points.
Yeah.
Whether we'll do it quick enough and well enough to catch Chelsea, I don't know. But we've got to keep this team settled. That's the key. Say it again, it's the key thing now is hopefully finally having an 11 that is consistently playing every week.
Yeah.
Because I'm not blaming the injuries this season. I'm tired of people saying, well, we've had all these injuries, this is why we've done this and this. No, the problem really has been not the injuries, but that we've had to rotate the squad so much. When you're not playing the same 11 players or relatively same partnerships through your spine, you struggle.
Yeah.
You struggle.
Any team would.
Yeah. And that's what it's not the injuries, it's the vast rotation we've had to have.
Yeah.
That's the problem with it. But hopefully we can keep this team settled now, we can push forward, and pick up more points.
Well, for me, as the squad was when they played Wolves, obviously they got a win. But I don't think that should be our starting 11 for our last games. I think there are a few changes that might benefit us.
Okay.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
I'm
intrigued. So who would you swap?
I'll take Thiago out because he's constantly getting booked. You know, he's not really doing much. Like, he gets a few good passes in, but he's not really doing much for us. And I'd probably bring in Navigator because he's been playing all right.
Yeah.
You know, like every time he's been on, we've watched him. Like even if he's just a sub, we're always like, yeah, well, he's been brilliant.
He's class, but he's another one. He's got to stay fit. But
yeah,
I've got my opinions on Thiago.
You do, yeah.
We'd be here for the rest of the podcast, so I won't bother. But yeah, Navigator I think has to play more.
Yeah.
Play more.
Also, I'd keep Jota in Firmino, or put him on left wing and let Mane or Salah go into centre. But I would keep Jota. Yeah, I would keep Jota, but. The back line, I think, solid now. Or, you know, keeping Robbo and Trent at back, and then Kabak and Nathaniel Phillips. There we go. And other than that, it's just Thiago. I think we need to, you know.
You're not starting Ben Davis, sure? He's the best.
He does
wanted to see him.
I just want to watch him play.
What's Preston's highlights?
Who would be, just quickly out of curiosity, who would be your midfield three for Liverpool? Which three are you starting? Because we're stacked in centre really. Obviously, but which three would you be starting? Or do you think it depends on who you're playing?
Injury free or
as
it is
now?
Well, Fabinho's definitely got to be in there. He's been vital for us. As I said, Navigator, I bring him on. Well, that last one, like when Adams has done a good job, like he has been.
Please don't drop Wijnaldum. Please.
I'm just trying to think if there's anyone that could do a better job. Thinking about it, I don't think there is. Like he has been brilliant for us.
I like Wijnaldum. No,
Who would your midfield be? If you were Jurgen?
It's tough because I agree. I do agree that Navigator. I do.
Yeah.
But for me, right now, as I've just said, going forward, we've got to keep a consistent team. Navi's been out for 80% of the season. I like him coming off the bench and giving him game time. Look, keep him going till the end of the season.
Maybe Ox.
Impact. I won't play Ox again. He's been out all season.
Yeah.
Out pretty much all last season. My midfield three, Fabinho we had down.
Yeah.
Wijnaldum, and for me, Curtis Jones.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he has been brilliant.
For me, he's been probably. I think he's been our best player this season.
Yeah.
And look, we talked about before, United teams sitting back creating chances. For me, one of the only players who's actually done it for Liverpool is Curtis Jones this season. And I think coming up against some of the teams we are, Burnley away is huge. That's massive because look, they'd stick 20 men behind the ball if they could.
Yeah.
We've got to create chances. Yeah. Jota in, and for me, Curtis Jones, them creating chances together. For me, he's got to be in just because he is the one player for me all this season who has created those chances.
Yeah. No, it is a good job.
My man that would be. It probably will be the three Jurgen went with the Wolves, Fabinho, Thiago, Wijnaldum. But I was going to make the point of if I did have to drop Thiago, if that was the point we were basing the sort of midfield three discussion off, then Curtis Jones will be the one who I'd bring in as opposed to Keita.
Yeah.
I
will say though about Thiago, and I'm not citing him a lot, and I think we'll move on to the next game after this point, but I have cited him a lot. I'm very intrigued actually to see him now coming up because with Fabinho now playing and possibly Wijnaldum playing, what Klopp will do is give Thiago the freedom to actually move forward now, move forward on the pitch, which is where he likes to play. He likes to be in that channel, in that sort of cam role. With Fabinho and Wijnaldum, knowing that them two will happily sit back a bit, let Thiago go forward. That to me is where we'll start seeing flourish. It is, rather than in a central midfield role, because that to me is not that sort of player. But my opinions could well change in the coming weeks when he starts getting freedom to move forward. But time will tell on Liverpool. We can't. It's anyone's guess. It's anyone's guess what we do week to week.
Well, quickly, just before half time, we'll just talk about how some of the Wolves players did. God, what is his name now? I've completely just lost it.
Which one?
The one.
Be careful with your description.
The one that likes baby oil.
The one that likes baby oil.
He was fantastic.
Everything
that Wolves did went through him at his pace, getting behind. He had a couple of chances that he created, but didn't take them. But he for me was Wolves' best player. I think he was fantastic.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
Yeah, do you know what? Again, we said it. Wolves missed that finishing touch.
Yeah.
They brought in Willian Jose on loan. He doesn't look that much. Doesn't look that good. We've got our opinions on Fabio Silva. Quite frankly, potentially the worst striker I've ever seen that hasn't played for Liverpool. We've got some worse, but he's terrible. They missed that. They missed that. they missed that finishing touch. But Adama was outstanding. He's big. He's strong. He runs. Only problem with Adama is he doesn't seem to have an end product. But if he plays like that and they've got Raul Jimenez up top, Wolves won't worry.
Yeah.
Because if he, like Frankie said, if he's the one creating the chances, Raul Jimenez will put them away.
Yeah. Anyone else that stands out for one of you two in that game?
Not particularly in the game.
Wolves won.
It was a 1-0. It's not like it wasn't particularly like.
Yeah.
It wasn't about made chances for everyone to go. You know what? He's influenced this game.
As a team, I didn't think they did that bad, but individually, I couldn't pick out anyone else really.
I just think Liverpool were just better than them.
Yeah.
First half, with first 25 minutes, I think Wolves were fantastic.
Yeah, we said that, didn't we?
I think Ruben Neves was controlling the flow of the game, and then
that'd probably be where I had to pick me down to bring someone else than Neves Moutinho in the middle.
Well, other than that, not really. Wolves were great for the rest of the game.
Right, well, I think that will sum up the first half of our podcast. We're just going to go along a little break now, so you can go get a drink or some food or whatever, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes or so. Maybe a bit short.
Half-time game.
James, half-time game. Woo! Yeah. This week we have, just so you got a preview of what's coming up, we have got Name the Club that the manager managed. We've been nice this week. I'm not going to pull up any random Romanians or anything like that. The managers we'll have all either managed in the Premier League or have managed internationally, but not like they've not managed Georgia.
No.
Well, a couple of them might have actually. Bills and going on, but that's what's coming up. Jake is going to be naming the club that the gaffer managed.
And the manager if you can.
And the manager if you can.
Yeah, I'll aim for the manager.
For a bonus point.
Like I said last week,
I'm not
great with names.
But yeah, so back in 5 minutes, go get yourself a drink, get yourself some snacks.
And thanks for joining the first half.
Woo! We're back for the half-time game show with Jake. So, if this is your first time joining or watching, basically what we do every half-time is we play a little game with Jake. Hey, by the way, it's not just a random voice. We play a little half-time game with Jake. So, we've done so far. We've done Name the Badge. We did that.
Yeah, we've done that
Last
first.
week was Name the Club Legend. Club we play for. Yeah. His performance last week was
Vincent Company at Crystal Palace.
Yeah, we had Vincent Company at Palace, Thierry on replay for Liverpool.
Yeah.
So this week we've moved away from players and we're going to go with managers and name the club they've managed. So the way it works is he gets a point for the name and a point for the club. There are some which have managed multiple teams.
Okay.
There are a couple which you could probably name any team in England and they'll probably manage them. On those, I will accept any of the clubs they've managed.
Not in mind, I will pick up one. They haven't.
There's a couple. So we're kicking off with a nice, easy one. So we're going to start with the viewers at home. This is the first manager. There he is. So it's nice, easy one to start. Jake,
I'm so nervous.
here is your manager.
Oh, what's his name? Oh, I know who he is. Oh, the name though. God, does he still manage?
No.
Yeah, I thought he retired. That's really annoying though. I can picture him.
Oh, so can I.
Yeah.
You say this every week. I can picture him.
I can picture him on the pitch managing.
On the pitch.
Well, on sidelines. That's so annoying.
So we're looking for the name and the club, please, Jake.
The name's gone.
Well, that's the club then.
For the club, I'll go with. God, this is really annoying me.
So again, for the viewers at home,
This is really. See, the worst thing is I can't actually picture him on sidelines.
Jake, I'm going to have to push you for an answer.
Alright.
This isn't a massive segment of this podcast, but
I'll go Everton.
Everton.
Sir Alex at Everton.
That is Sir Alex Ferguson,
Oh, that's so annoying.
who managed Manchester United.
When I first saw it, I was like, that can't be Sir Alex Ferguson.
But Aberdeen as well.
Oh, that's so
Bad
annoying.
Aberdeen.
See, I knew he was.
So much.
That's
Aberdeen.
Yeah.
I knew
I
he
don't
was.
know it, but it's like from Aberdeen.
No, so 0 points for Jake on that one.
Oh, that's terrible for me.
That's
Moving on. But I'm not lying. I thought I think
Nice.
easy start here. But
This ball was that.
this is the second one. I don't expect to get a name, but there's an option of clubs. This is the man.
Oh.
I'll let Mr. Ravenscroft tell you if you're correct on this one.
Alright.
Very impressed if you put his name.
He won it.
Go and get some of his domestic clubs up because there are a few of them.
I'll just throw one out there.
What name?
Not name.
Throw a name out there.
I can do if you really want one.
Yeah, let's throw a name. What's his name?
I reckon his name is Scott.
What's his last name?
Scott Mitchell.
Scott Mitchell.
That's big Scott Mitchell.
Do you want to have a guess at a country? Because that's Michael O'Neill and he's most famous for managing a country.
It's not Michael.
It's Martin
Martin
O'Neill.
O'Neill.
We should start playing these with Ravens.
We should be doing a game show for him.
So we can have a club, or if you somehow know the country, you can have the country. I'll give you the clue. The country is in Britain. I did say if there's an international manager, it is a British team they've managed. But I want the club or the British team they've managed. British country they've managed. Sorry.
For some reason, he's just screaming Chelsea to me. So I'm going to go with Chelsea.
No, it's not a British country.
Well, you know what I
I
mean.
meant more for a team.
All right, for a team. Well, no, you're
Yeah,
wrong.
I'll go
Martin
Chelsea.
O'Neill, and you could have had any of these options, Mr. Ravenscroft.
You could like Grantham Town, Sheffield Carter House, which I'm annoyed you didn't put one of them really. Wycombe Wanderers, Norwich City, Leicester City, Celtic famously, Aston Villa, Sunderland, Republic of Ireland internationally, and Nottingham Forest.
Okay, here's the next one for the viewers. Oh, I don't want to zoom into this picture too much, but we're going to do for the viewers.
You've got to get it.
Yeah,
Come on. Got to get it.
God, I can picture him as well.
No, you've got to get
You
this.
have to get this.
You have to get this.
Oh, okay. What happens when I don't know?
You have to get this.
You.
Oh, Liverpool. Are you saying you? What?
No, you.
No, he's the current manager.
Oh, it's current. Okay. I got.
That's not Jurgen Klopp.
misleading me. They're misleading me.
No, we're
Sorry.
not. No, we're not.
Sorry, well, we're not.
No, it's just screaming you. I got
Right. I'll pretend I didn't hear what you said Liverpool. If he ever managed Liverpool, I think I'd just cry.
Didn't manage Wigan once, so.
Wait,
Yeah.
if I.
He's currently managers now. But again, there's a range of clubs you could have. You can't have Wigan.
You can't have Wigan. I did.
Yeah.
Just give you that one.
Like you say, the only other team I could think about me would be Bolton.
Think about someone.
No.
Think about someone that
You.
is.
Yeah.
They are currently in the Premier
Related to
League.
you.
They.
Not Graham Souness.
They're,
He's related, not related.
they're currently in the league. They manage a number of Premier League clubs. There's some also they still play.
This one's
Probably
just
retired.
this
Just
season.
retired this season.
He's come Premier League. Oh, it's really annoying. Because I can't.
You have to get it.
Let's go Arsenal.
You had a number of clubs to choose from. You
Steve
still get on.
Bruce.
Big Steve Bruce.
That's bad for me.
And
I've
you
met
could
him
have
few
had a
times.
number of clubs there.
Yeah, Sheffield United, Huddersfield, Wigan, Crystal Palace, Birmingham, Wigan again, Sunderland, Hull, Villa, Sheffield Wednesday, and Newcastle.
So when I say you could have had a number of clubs,
Yeah.
anyone but Arsenal and Liverpool really, and
Yeah,
some of the clubs.
that's terrible.
Right.
Honestly, I would pick
I'm
about
not-
the one.
I'll be honest, this is one of the trickier ones. I'm not expecting you to get his name. You might get the club, but I'd be surprised. You're currently just like on 0 points.
Steve Bruce used to live in New
Yeah, sure.
Here is one man. One of the suavest managers ever. Knew how to rock a scarf.
I would not.
No, I wouldn't expect a name.
Not a name, but.
A club. On this one, only one club, I'm afraid.
Oh, only the one.
Well, in England, yeah.
Oh.
Well, you can have the international team.
But yes.
Oh. I don't think I could pull one club, so I'll try for international.
Who does he manage?
I think
You're seeing him on the touchline. Who are England playing?
Wales.
I've seen it. Wales.
Is it Scotland?
No.
Oh,
His
sorry,
name's
man.
Roberto Mancini.
Just take
I
a
guess
look.
what will be my manager.
His international club isn't in Britain, but it is in Europe, and they are a big international club.
Oh,
I think
okay.
international
What
teams.
was his name?
Mancini.
Roberto
Roberto.
Mancini.
Mancini. Italy.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
We'll give you half a point. Right. Now this man
English called Manchester City.
can have a few clubs,
Oh.
but I'd also hope for a name. This is the man, the myth, the legend. I love him. Great gaffer.
Oh.
Great gaffer. Couple of clubs you can name here, but this is who you are looking at to boost your half a point.
Purple 1.5 points. This could be big for me.
You don't give us a name.
Oh no.
You don't even like just take a stab in the dark on a name.
I can have a go.
Yeah.
Alright.
So he's going to take a stab in the dark on this man's name.
I reckon that one is Brian. That is Brian.
Oh, I thought you said Brown.
No.
Big Brown.
Yeah. Go on, you say Brown. I'll call him Brian Brown.
Brian Brown.
Brian Brown. This guy's,
My school called Brian Brown.
ladies, gentlemen, everyone watching, this apparently
Brown.
today is
He looks like a Brian.
Spanish waiter. Do you
Alright.
want to have a guess at Brian Brown's clubs?
Brian.
I just need,
Brian
I need one.
Brown. He managed Burnley.
No, the big one that you should have got was Liverpool. He's also managed in the Premier League, Newcastle.
When did he manage Liverpool?
Chelsea as well, won the Europa League for Chelsea. He won the 2005 Champions League with us. He also won the 2006 FA Cup with us. Superb.
Bit before my time.
Talk about the facts. He means like into football. He's not
Oh,
only
yeah.
like
He's not
like
16.
16.
Just a random 16-year-old lad. Yeah,
You
so-
want to host the podcast? You
Right. Current manager. Gotta get this. Here he is. Viewers at home. There's the big guy's trying to name.
What a beautiful man.
Oh,
Ooh.
Jake agrees.
He could play his game of plucking random names and could actually
Yeah,
get
but the
this.
chance.
Yeah, this one does actually have like a
Generic
very,
name.
very English generic name.
The most generic English name I can think of is John Smith. But I don't.
Oh, you're close.
Close.
You've got the second name.
Oh, it's close.
You've got the second name.
John's his older brother. What's his name?
Johnson's awful.
50 or above.
First names. There's just so many. English.
2
English.
51.
George.
No, it's not George Smith. I'll give you half because you're the Smith. It's Dean Smith. Who does Dean Smith manage?
Dean Smith.
He manages right now in the Premier League.
Dean Smith.
Dean, if you're watching, happy birthday for in 2 days.
Oh, Dean Smith. It's really annoying.
Do I have to push over a club?
Alright, he managed Premier League.
He's managing.
He's managing the Premier League team, which is named.
If you want to, you can name his championship club.
Always leave one away too.
Yeah, I won't do that one.
Oh, let's name his Premier League club. Who's gaffering now?
Alright, he is definitely gaffing.
Without doubt, Jake.
Yes.
Like, even if he's
We've
not
established
used
his
now,
managing.
I think you smashed his phone. Who's managing, Jake?
he is doing Newcastle. No, no, it's not him. It's not Newcastle.
That's Steve Bruce, who was on before.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's not Newcastle. It's similar to Newcastle, though. As in being in the Prem.
oh, yeah. We have to push for club now. I'll take the next answer.
Okay,
3, 2, 1. Hit me with club.
Southampton.
How many times did you want me to cough 7-2?
Aston Villa.
If I wasn't listening to you, I was trying a proper thing.
Big Dean Smith.
Walsall and Brentford is other two clubs in
Right.
management.
So I'm on a whole point.
You're on 1 point, yeah, thanks to Smith and Italy after saying Wales.
Yeah.
This is your next manager. This one is famous for doing a terrible, terrible dance on the touchline at Wembley after his team scored. They then went on to lose. They scored, he danced, his team went on to lose at Wembley.
I know that story, but I'm trying to picture the team.
Again, number of clubs you can name. Number of current Premier League teams. Couple of teams that have been in the Premier League.
This is...
You could name.
Yeah, you've got a good chance of booking a club from the Premier League.
Yeah.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 current Premier League clubs to choose from.
That's a
My clue to
1 in
you.
4 chance.
Well, my clue to you is this. This team is currently, but one of the teams you could name is very currently very close to this podcast right now. What team is very close to us right now?
We're in the... Well, I'm just remembering where we are.
Maybe don't think too deep into it. Yeah.
Literally.
A team close to our hearts because of another club legend there.
Oh, I'm thinking they are not like they are literally
Yeah,
close to us right
distance-wise.
now. Yeah.
Well, I imagine the team close to heart is Barrow, because we love Barrow.
No.
But
Oh,
for the Premier League team, I'll just
Yeah.
into it. But for Premier League team, very close to us.
Right now.
Oh,
This minute.
this very minute. There's 2 sides you can go to because we're fairly in the middle of 2 places.
Mention one of them.
Technically, you are right in
You're right
in
on
the middle of 2 places, yeah.
I will go with.
You all right there, Banksy? You look a bit tired.
I think it might be. Maybe Crystal Palace.
Hey!
Could have had a couple.
Spot.
Yeah, Charlton
The
Athletics
Crystal
is the one
Palace
we've got
shirt.
a soft spot for because
Yeah.
of Scott Minter.
Yeah, so you could have had a number of clubs. I believe it was Palace where you did dance. Was it West Brom? Palace. You could have West Brom as well.
Newcastle, Southampton, Charlton.
Yeah. Right, we'll do two more. This one, we're going to do two now, just try and boost your points. These last two are two that you just should get. Now, I know we say that for a lot, but these two are two that you just should get. So this is the first one. Jake, to get yourself to a potential 3 points.
Who is he? I know who he is. He's. God. No, it's not him. He's still managing.
Oh, he's still managing.
Cannot forget.
Blank.
You're the one. You still turn me on. Football's coming home again.
Oh, God.
Well, I love it.
Yeah, but chance to be mean, like what? Mate, chance.
If you listen to the words of the chant,
Yeah, trying to sing it
I
again.
only caught in halfway through.
All right,
You're
well,
still
luckily,
looking
it's the back end that you need.
Again,
Somewhere very close to this podcast. Nice waistcoat geezer.
Lovely waistcoat.
Loves a waistcoat.
Cute waistcoat.
Loves a waistcoat. Cute waistcoat, cute smile.
No, cute.
I'm like Alex Ferguson, with the Alex Ferguson one, I'm like, I really do know his face. I've seen it loads.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well
you
done.
do.
you will.
Especially in 2018.
Yeah, and do you know what? You're about to see it a lot more.
You are.
Oh yeah, a lot more.
No, he's not taking over.
Every week in Anfield. To be fair,
He was
you
at
might have
Anfield.
seen him at Anfield.
You might have.
But he wouldn't have been managing a team there necessarily. He'd probably be like sat in the stands watching, yeah.
I'm going to go with. This is.
For the viewers at home,
I put a bit more pressure on myself.
struggling with this.
These are the ones I don't
Oh,
know.
we've got off there. Here we go. Just to count the viewers. I cannot escape and I cannot forget. You're the one. You still turn me on. Football's coming home again.
What's coming home?
Yeah, yes.
It's coming home.
It's coming home.
I mean, England.
Yes!
I was just trying to think of the Premier League.
Gareth Southgate, England.
Very domestic.
Middlesbrough. Well, there we are, right. So, you're up to 2 points. That sounds good if someone's just tuned in. Apart from the fact it's over possible like 40 at the minute. This is your last and final one. This is Amy's after. Jake. Let's have the gaffer. Let's have the club.
See, this is okay. This is.
Oh, this is one you can name. Oh, yeah. I can picture it.
No.
Victory.
People at home are going to be playing half times podcasts like bingo, and the one that will come up is I can picture it. I know this one. I can picture it.
I'll give you a clue. His name sounds like the team he managed.
Yeah.
That's not the reason he managed them, but a lot of people were like, "Wow, it's fate. It's just meant to be."
No,
Was it-
we should have seen someone real name.
Was a hero. A lot would say he stayed long enough to see himself become the villain. He was there when
Still an
absolute legend.
He was there from
Right, he's the one I recognise the
1996 to
most,
2018.
That's how long he was
A
at the club.
22-year
22 years at this one club.
God, this is probably the worst one because I recognise him the most. Like, this is the one where I'm like, oh, easily. Well,
He's yeah.
he is. I feel like it's one of the bigger teams. How big? How big am I?
This, I'll give you a clue.
I'm just
This man managed players such as Jack Wilshere. He managed players such as Patrick Vieira. He managed players such as Robert Perez, Tony Adams, he managed players such as Nicola Bender and Danny Welbeck. Petr Cech.
See, the names are ringing bells, but I'm trying to place them to the teams now. Oh, Welbeck.
Managed by David Luiz as well.
Like David Luiz, not like actual.
Right.
Yeah.
So them two names are ringing bells.
Aaron Ramsey.
Oh, Aaron Ramsey. Oh no, I'm from Ramsdale. Never mind.
Aaron Ramsey. I was like, oh, he's spent that long at Sheffield United.
Oh no, Ramsey though. I've heard. But the people I'm trying to place the most is Welbeck and Perez.
Welbeck and Perez. Them two have never been said in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Van Persie. Yeah. There's one name that we could give you, but then if you didn't get it after that, we'd just leave our own home.
I'm gonna say West Ham.
To be fair, Jack Wilshere played for West Ham.
He did.
Not under Arsene Wenger.
So who?
Arsene Wenger.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Tell you what.
Arsene Wenger.
For any West Ham fans, if they'd have had the likes of Perez, Vieira, Tony Adams, it'd have been unreal. The name I was going to give you, but you'd have got it straight away, I think, would have been Thierry Henry.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
Liverpool. Who's at Liverpool for years. There we go. That is the end of the half-time game show with Jake. This week, Jake, you scored a total of 3 points.
One of my pet performances, sadly.
Which is after a total of like 2 and 0.
Yeah.
So,
better than last
progress.
Yeah.
Progress, so there it is. So,
Moving on.
moving on, yeah, let's kick off.
With a high-scoring game, Leicester City versus Sheffield United, where Leicester won 5-0, which is, in any game, an amazing score. But firstly, let's just talk about Sheffield United losing Chris Wilder. Well, I say losing.
That's sad news.
Yeah.
Sad news.
It is. Have they got a replacement yet? Or is it?
Paul Heckenbottom has taken it as interim to the end of the season with Jason Tyndall coming in as assistant captain.
Nonsense. Obviously, look, you can see the Sheffield United players are devastated, not just in the result. You saw the night, obviously mutual consent. There are reasons for me that I've seen behind it. There's a lot of articles. How true they are, I don't know. But you could see on the likes of Twitter, the players were devastated. A lot of the players he's got there, they come up to the Premier. They came to the Championship to go into the Premier with him. They were devastated. I think it reflects in the performance. But look, whatever's gone on, they're going to miss him.
Yeah.
They're going to miss him. He will forever, no matter what position he's put them in now, he will forever be a Sheffield United legend.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah. I mean, I said the last 2 weeks, I'd like to see him stay in the Prem, but I didn't want to see him go before the end of the season.
Yeah.
It just feels wrong. It feels. It would have been nice to see Sheffield United go out sort of proud with Chris Wilder leading them out. Yeah, they were going to go down.
Yeah, he's took up his Centurions from League One.
I mean,
He's took them up from the Championship into the Prem.
I've watched firsthand how good they were in League One, how good they were in the Championship.
Unbelievable.
They were unreal, and for an average team to be that good, he did it at Northampton. He worked wonders at Northampton. Did it at Sheffield United. Obviously, that's his club. It's so sad how it's ended, but
Sheffield United fans will be devastated. It's bad to go through.
Yeah. The reports circulating, the ones I've seen through Sky Sports, BBC, a couple of others, is that the disagreement wasn't actually necessarily about where Sheffield United were in the league. The board didn't trust his transfers. They said they were bringing in the director of football, which Chris Wilder objected to, said he didn't like it. The big one that they seem to blame for, through the sources that are reporting it, is Ryan Brewster. They said, we gave you this money, you signed Ryan Brewster, he hasn't done anything. They were going to bring in the director of football. Apparently, as the reports say, he wasn't very happy with that. There was a disagreement. They left by mutual consent. But facts for you, in old Chris Wilder's time at Sheffield United, they never lost a game by a 3-goal margin. Game after he leaves, they get beat 5-0.
Yeah. That's true.
So
I mean, Paul Heckenbottom said in his interview, he'd only been in a day, he hadn't done any training or anything. He said he went in and the mood was flat. He was like, I had to try and G up some lads that were just gone.
Yeah.
They didn't want to play football. It was more than losing a manager to them. I think it was losing a mentor, a friend probably. Like it was losing someone massive. It's just sad that because I always said that I did want him to go. I wanted him to stay in the Premier League. He deserved that. Pep's actually come out and said if he managed to City, they'd walk the league every season.
If Pep managed
every season.
Sheffield United as well, he said they'd probably go down still.
I just think it's just sad how it's happened. I did want him to go. I wanted him to stay in the Prem, but it feels wrong the way it's happened.
I think a lot of it, like you just said there, not just a manager but a friend, the mental. I think another thing is like a lot of these lads who some of them have played in the Championship. They've come up, they've been with him for his whole journey. Yeah. I think these lads have a love for the club, and I think loving the club, they know what he's done for the club. They'll see it as a bit like a fan, like you just said there. The fans will be devastated. Yeah. I think a lot of the players will look at it from sort of a fan point of view. The lads who've been with him years, Johnny Egan, John Lundstrom, those sort of lads, I think will look at it as a fan and they'll be devastated.
We're also talking about. I remember there was a video that came out, and it's when McGoldrick was released from Ipswich, which for them was massive. But he was a good player for them, but it looked like he was just going to go and join another he did go and join another League One club. It was Sheffield United, but I remember that there was a video of him selling Sheffield United and the pride he had on the phone. He's like, "This is a proper club." He was like, "We get so many fans a week, loud crowd. This is a proper club." He loved that club, and it's just sad how it's happened, but. He's revived John Lundstrom's career. He was awful in League One. Yeah. I remember him at Oxford. He was rubbish. They were saying get rid of him. He's crap. He's never been in the Premier League. He's a great player. Yeah, McGoldrick at 32, 33 now. Yeah. It looked like he was just going to stay in League One for the rest of his career. He's now playing in the Premier League. He has revived so many of these players' careers. They've lost almost like a father.
That's what I mean. But he's odds-on favourite for the Celtic job at the minute.
I think for him, he needs to now just take some time and reflect. Yeah. If he doesn't want to go into a club with a director of football, the reality is his options are now limited because that is the structure of sort of clubs now. But I think for him, he just needs to take some time because it probably hurt him as much as it's hurt every single Sheffield United fan. He's walked away from his boyhood club, which he would have never wanted to do, let's be honest. But I think he's probably just going to take some time. I think someone else will take the Celtic job for now.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to one of Leicester's players who is, let's say, on fire. I would say name, but unfortunately, I do struggle.
Nacho.
Yeah, there we go. So, Dan, we had a little talk about this. Like, what do you think about his performance recently?
You know what? I watched the Leicester City. When he first broke on the scene at Man City, when he first came in, and I thought it was unbelievable. I really did. I thought Manchester City were very, very clever because when they sold him to Leicester, they put in a buyback price. I don't know what happened at Leicester. I don't know what's happened. He has not been the player that I saw when he was at Man City. But it's tough when you're playing, your second fiddle to the likes of Jamie Vardy. Yeah. You don't get many chances. He's probably a player that needs to be playing regularly. I think we've seen it now. Jamie Vardy out injured.
Yeah.
He's played regular football now, so 6-7 games on the trot, and he's scoring. He's got it in him. He's a fantastic player, but he is one of those players that needs to be playing regularly. And I think that's probably where it has gone wrong for him at Leicester. But look, we've all given.
That was my point. Like,
we all had to eat our words.
Yeah, it's amazing. Always
he wasn't going to step up, and he absolutely has.
That 1-1 draw with Burnley was in which I scored our game strike as well. That's them done for the rest of the season. But hats off to him.
And do you know what? And I know this is obviously against Sheffield United. Brendan Rodgers played Vardy and Iheanacho. Now, if Iheanacho can stay in that team, a lot of people go, well, Vardy has to play on his own. Vardy got 3 assists for him. Iheanacho got a hat-trick. If Iheanacho can stay in the team and he's playing like that with Jamie Vardy, I think he'll have a great career. And to be honest, in a few seasons' time, if he continues like that, then maybe not Manchester City, but I think a few big teams probably would sniff it. He's got the potential. He really has.
Yeah.
Like I said, when he first broke on at City, I thought he was absolutely superb. But he's not a regular football at Leicester. He's got it now, and he's getting goals. He's getting goals. And do you know what? Massive for Leicester, that. Massive.
Yeah.
Because I think we've said it all season. We've probably said it for seasons. They rely on Jamie Vardy. If they know now that they've got another man, whether it's on the bench or whether he's playing alongside Vardy, another man that can come and get goals, Leicester are alright. They'll be laughing there.
Yeah, and in this game, he got a hat trick, which is hard for some of the best players in the league to do. Like, and he's, and every week he's keep getting goals. Like every week I'm looking at my phone when I'm getting the updates, and I'm always seeing his name getting goals, or so he is one of the better players.
What would you do now? Let's say you're Brendan Rodgers now. I'm putting you in.
Trying to just clarify for the fans if you're not.
Yeah. You want to go how your system
Right. Yeah, okay.
You're Brendan Rodgers, do you just keep sticking in after him because he's in form, he's scoring goals? Do you try and integrate them two together, even if that's not necessarily how Jamie Vardy wants to play, or it's not necessarily your system? Or do you just put Vardy back in because you know he's going to score goals for you? Or do you keep playing Iheanacho because he's earned the right to be in the team? Do you go back to what you know what works, or do you switch up?
I think it depends on the game, really.
Okay.
Like, if you're going against like Man City, Man United, stuff like that, I'd put Vardy in, because obviously he's played them teams. He knows what to do.
Brilliant records as well against the top six.
Yeah, exactly.
Well.
Incredible record.
Yeah.
But on the lower teams like your Sheffield United, your West Brom, stuff like that, I would change up. Like, even I don't know if I'd do a partnership or maybe just let Iheanacho just go in on his own. But I believe it fully depends on the games for me. Like, but it would be nice to see him try and mix the two together, see how well they work.
Yeah.
I can't lie.
To be honest, I agree with you though, because like you're saying, against the likes of Man City, obviously Jamie Vardy's got an incredible record, but against the likes of Man City, Leicester will probably want another midfielder in.
Yeah.
They probably won't want two strikers, they won't want another midfielder in, so you do. The question I'm going to put this to you, both Ravo and Banks here. You're Iheanacho, and you're scoring goals you are doing like this, and you know you can do it, but you do this, and then Brendan Rodgers, Vardy's back, Brendan Rodgers drops to the bench again, Vardy's back in the team. Come the end of the season, this, I mean, do you look at it and go, look, as much as horrible this is, Jamie Vardy's going to get injured 5-6 times for the season. I'll take the chances and hope because I'm at Leicester right now, one of the biggest clubs. Or, like I said, do you go, look, I could be playing week in, week out here, right? Maybe not for the top teams here in the top 5, 6, but I can be playing for at least a mid-table side, or maybe even abroad somewhere. I'm playing week in, week out, and showing everyone what I can do. Then maybe I'll get my move. He's still a young lad. Come the end of the season, that happens. He gets dropped to the bench. Vardy's back in. He's got the goals he has done. He knows he can do it. Do you go? Do you stay?
What I will say is Leicester next season, whether we get Champions League or not, or Europa League, either way, their workload is going to be intense next year.
Yeah.
Six more games, and then if they progress even more, started in midweeks, the travelling, the workload, the schedule becomes so much more cramped that squad rotation will play a factor rather than just sitting on bench and coming on when there's a chance or when he's injured.
True, but I think the way Brendan Rodgers works is if he can play Jamie Vardy's playing.
Yeah. He's going to want to play in the Champions League.
Literally. And it's. But to be honest, I'm not saying a negative of Brendan Rodgers. I think it's what most managers do to Jamie Vardy. But he's right. Look, Jamie, can you play this week? Yeah, I'm alright. Yeah, if it's on pitch or like what you're playing. He's probably the one player that he doesn't want to rotate.
Yeah.
So does Iheanacho? I know you said that back. He's got to leave.
The reality is, he could. I mean, Jamie Vardy's getting on now. Yeah, I think we have to include that as a factor. But if you sit and wait around for Jamie Vardy to eventually retire, which we don't know when it's going to happen, it doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon. You might then miss your chance because he's still young, But let's say Vardy goes on for another 3 years and he's another 3 years of Leicester's main striker. Iheanacho waits in the shadows, waiting for Vardy to retire. Then he's going to become the number 1 striker. He might do that, but then has he missed his chance to go?
He's not a young lad anymore.
He's not a young lad. Has he missed his chance to then? He probably does want to go back to City eventually. I reckon, knowing that that's in his contract, he's probably sitting there going, if I need to perform because I do want to go back and play for someone like City, maybe not City, but someone at that stature. If I sit and wait around for 3-4 years, have I missed that chance? Yes, I might get a good move because I perform well at Leicester when I become the number 1. But I feel like I've missed my chance to go and win things.
Yeah.
And I think it depends on his mentality. I think completely. Whether he wants to make money or whether he wants to have a good career, it completely.
We said before, football's an exceptionally short career.
Yeah.
You have to make the most of any chances which are be at your team or move away so you can be playing and potentially not necessarily a step back, just go forward. But if he does go to, I don't know, maybe a Palace or Villa or sort of.
I'd like to see him at West Ham, mate. Because
when I said the top 5 and 6 and I went for currently West Ham. I've got one team.
Because Mikel Antonio,
he's not a striker.
He's not. It's not his position in the play. Yeah, okay, he does well there when he plays it, but they need a night striker. And I'd like to see Iheanacho in there.
That's the thing.
With Lingard feeding him.
Yeah.
That's probably a bit naughty.
And I do agree.
I'll be ringing David Moyes.
Listen here, boys.
You sign Kelechi. Do you know what? And I agree with you. I think, as I've said, the lad's clearly a sort of player who needs to be playing every week to perform as he is doing.
Yeah.
But he's obviously not a player who can take a chance here and there.
Yeah.
Well, I'll play this week in a rotation and then I'll back to the bench for another 3-4 weeks. I mean, I get another game because he clearly doesn't perform that way. Yeah. He's had a nice run of games and he's getting goals. He's scoring every week. I think come the summer, I do agree with Banks. I think come the summer, he does have to go. The only thing, like you said, is he on that for move to City? Because if he goes somewhere else, that buyback clause to City's gone.
And would City want Iheanacho? I know he's done well the last 2 weeks, but
it's not necessarily City. He wants to go
big move.
Yeah.
And that's for me with the sort of player he is. I think he has to be playing every week.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Would a club up there want him?
I
think
you watch his breakthrough form when he was at that. I mean, I hated him because I still had that soft spot for United because he's a United fan. He came to Old Trafford and he ripped United to shreds. He was unreal when he first person seen. Everyone was like, "Who's this kid?"
He's called. I was surprised when he went to Leicester. Not because it was Leicester, but I was surprised City had sold him. Yeah. Then I read that City had put the buyback price in there, and I thought, okay, very clever. He's obviously not going to play. City knew he's not going to be the player of Aguero like he needs to. City obviously knew this lad needs to play week in, week out. He wasn't going to play of Aguero. They then went and signed Jesus. So I was surprised when he went to Leicester. But I think if you gave him a full season, 2 seasons, playing week in, week out, maybe for like West Ham, tell you what, I think there will be some clubs coming after him. Yeah. I think maybe Arsenal, because how long are they going to keep hold of Aubameyang? If they keep finishing where they are doing, how long are they going to keep hold of him?
And also he's
getting hold of it. There's a lot of talk at the minute. I know Tottenham are very overvaluing him, but if Harry Kane does leave Spurs, he wants to win things. Iheanacho, after a season or 2, playing week in, week out, he'd get you 15 goals a season.
Yeah.
He's got 5 or 6 in the last 4 or 5 weeks. You played him week in, week out, he'd get you 15 goals a season, I think.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of praise for him. When he plays regularly, I have a lot of praise for him. But he's clearly that sort of player. But like we said, and Banksy said it before, it depends on his mentality. Does he want to be a great player? Does he want to go and play for big clubs and win things? Or is he quite happy just taking a paycheck and just playing here and there?
Yeah.
Well, we had a little discussion before, and I'm going to bring up the point now because I think this would do good here. Do you think Leicester now have secured at least the top third position? Do you reckon? I don't see him moving up to third, obviously.
I said no last week. I think. I mean,
I'm having a look at the games now.
With Chelsea.
I think.
But 1 point behind United.
To the end of the season, they'll do just enough to stay in the top 4.
I'm having a look at the games, and the next 2 are United and City. Well, United's an FA game, but they've got City, West Ham, which might be a chance.
Might be,
Well,
yeah.
City
West
will
Ham
be a
could be a
chance,
big
but
game.
West Ham,
We've
yeah.
then got West
But
Brom,
then,
Palace
yeah, West
after.
Brom, Palace, Southampton, Newcastle.
They've not got a hard run.
We say that about Leicester, and you say, yeah, well, they've got these games and this game.
Struggle to beat Brighton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really struggle to beat Brighton.
Yes, they've heard. Yes, they've had a great season. But there's a lot of games like where they drop points to silly teams.
Mm.
The home form this season has been disastrous. It's been terrible. I don't really want to talk about home form for Liverpool, but it's been terrible. I agree with Banks. I think they'll finish top 4. Maybe. I think Chelsea will get top 4 without that. It's whether Leicester drop enough points for me and Liverpool catch them.
Yeah, true.
Because they drop points to silly teams. Whereas at the minute, I know we'll get onto it later. Chelsea are probably right now, maybe apart from City, Chelsea are the hardest team to beat in the league.
Yeah.
I said they
I think they'll just do enough for me.
Yeah. I said podcast before, I don't think they'll drop out. Has he secured top 3?
That's
The
a
5
good
points
bit.
back, Chelsea with 7 games left, that's not the lows to close back down in.
No.
But it's not.
I think they'll get
two
top 3
games.
now.
Yeah,
Two
true.
games.
I can't see
10
that
left.
top 4 changing right now.
Yeah. To be honest,
And if it does change, it won't be anyone new coming in or out, it'll be Chelsea catching up with Leicester for me.
But yeah,
It's a big statement.
Yeah.
To be fair, I did in my football thing, I don't think Liverpool will catch Chelsea, and I think we're too far behind Leicester as well.
Yeah, Liverpool on 46 and Chelsea is 51, so
It's 5 points, but for me, it's the fact that Chelsea are probably
Yeah.
the hardest team to beat in the league right now.
yeah. Well, speaking of Chelsea, they played Leeds to a it was a 0-0.
It was a fantastic 0-0.
It was a very good 0-0.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Keepers were a stormer. Mendy made a wonderful save.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is it a good point to gain, or should one of them had the definite 3 points like Chelsea?
It's a bigger point for Leeds than it is Chelsea.
Oh, 100%. I think Chelsea should have won the game as well. They had a lot of time, 3 chances.
Yeah.
The keeper was just on fire, and sometimes you just have those games.
Best game ever.
Yeah.
I'm saying that Ramsdale had the best game ever.
Yeah.
But it's poor from Chelsea. They should have won the game.
Yeah.
So there's no.
It's 2 points drop for Chelsea more than it is a point game for Leeds in terms of a season what they've got to play for.
Yeah.
I agree. Chelsea should have won the game. To be honest, for me, there's 2 sides of Chelsea's performance there.
Yeah.
For me, they've been fantastic defensively this season.
Especially under Tuchel.
That's since Tuchel come in, they've been superb defensively. Leicester really they've been free scoring this season. They've been free conceding, they've been free scoring as well. Keep a clean sheet against Leeds, to be fair to Chelsea. It's a good clean sheet.
Yeah.
But then there's the flip side. That again, going forward, they're creating an abundance of chances and they're not putting them away. We've seen it week after week after week with Chelsea now. People say, well, he plays defensively. Look, we've seen it time after time. They have so many chances, and some of them they're absolute sitters, especially for players who are costing you 60, 70, 80 million. And they're not putting the chances away. It cost them at Leeds. The keeper had a fantastic game. But Chelsea have got to start scoring more. They've got to.
Yeah.
This is why it's a question I'll put to all 3 of you, to be fair. You're Thomas Tuchel. Looking at it now, look, I love Werner. I have faith in him. He doesn't fit Chelsea. It was always the wrong move for me. If you're Tuchel and someone and you're looking at that going, look, yes, I play this system, but we're creating all these chances and not putting many away. We don't see them beating teams 3-4-0.
Yeah.
I think.
Do you go and buy a striker?
No. I think like we said, you go into next season, build your team. Okay, if Werner doesn't fit what Tuchel wants, he will get rid of him. But I think you should keep him, build his system. He should be building a team around Werner, because if you do, he will score a hatful of goals. He will score 20 plus because he's got that quality. I think next season, keep him, build your system, build your team, what you want to build, get rid of who you don't want, then judge him. Because, I mean, Tuchel came in and said he doesn't fit the system that anyone was playing, to be honest. And I think he's just playing the system at the minute to try and get results. So I think next season is when we judge him, when Tuchel has his system. If he's not scoring then yeah. But I think we also need to mention that I mean, against Liverpool, he was fantastic. Yeah, he didn't score, and that obviously is the issue.
Yeah.
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, he linked the play very well.
And I think that's the thing with Werner. He's obviously used to playing striker. You don't score goals, you get criticised.
You're going to get.
I think it's easy though. Like, similar to what Connor said, like it's easy to look at stats and go, he's not having a good season. And yes, he's made some chances where you think, yeah, he should be scoring that ball. Linking the play together, creating the chances for others, it's still an important role. If you were there in the stadium, you probably go, he's been important. But if you're there, you go, he's not scored.
No, yeah, well, it's like we said, we watched him against Liverpool, he was fantastic. I think he's been fantastic all season, to be honest. But look, at the end of the day, when you're a striker, you have to get goals. Now, I couldn't agree more. If Werner starts scoring, the man ain't going to stop because he's that good. I think maybe 3-4 good weeks of scoring, I think he'll start going to roll. But I do agree. I just think for me, that could be a big risk for Chelsea. I think Tuchel will know whether or not when he gets his system in and he starts playing the team he wants, whether or not Werner's the sort of player he wants up the top.
I don't think you can get rid of Werner. He's that good. He's not someone that I just like, yeah, don't want you.
Maybe not.
I'd make it work. It's one of them. You make it work. He's that good.
Yeah, no, but I agree. Well, to be honest, I was absolutely gutted that Liverpool missed out on him because I thought he was superb. To be honest, even now he's at Chelsea. If we could get him, I'd be signing tomorrow, mate. I think, and to be honest, I think he will get 25 plus goals at Liverpool. I think he would at Chelsea. As you said there, Banksy, if they build the team around him.
Yeah, I think the key point what you said is, if you were Tuchel in the summer, Tuchel hasn't had a summer. It's not Tuchel's Chelsea squad.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. And Tuchel, no,
he's done a brilliant job. But give him that summer. Give him. He said he wants the edge out. Doesn't fit the system. Doesn't get him with how he wants to play. If that's how we're getting with the sort of players, maybe Werner's in that bracket as well. I don't obviously know what Tuchel's thinking, but after the summer when he's gone out there, maybe if we get someone with Ziyech's money, a backup striker who is capable of stepping in if Werner doesn't produce. I wouldn't be getting rid of him yet, but
no,
I think it's a big risk to stay with solely him.
Yeah, because to be honest, I think Tammy Abraham will probably move on this summer.
Yeah.
I think he'll go and look for regular football. I think there'll be a couple of Chelsea players that because for me, look, I don't think Chelsea are going to go and spend, whether it's Tuchel or not. I don't think they're going to go and spend another 300 or 400 million. But as you said earlier, Josh, if they sell the likes of Ziyech, look, even off the back of a bad season, they'd probably still pick up 50, 60 mil for him.
Yeah.
Someone somewhere will pay it. But I agree. I think Tammy Abraham will go. To be honest,
there's also talks that Pulisic may have to go to United.
Yeah, Pulisic looks like he's going to be leaving.
I think the pick up will move if it does happen in a good way. I believe.
I think it's a massive sign for United.
It's huge. He's fat. I think they pick up 40 mil for him. Yeah. Tammy Abraham, he's young, he's English. I think they pick up 25, 30 mil for him.
Love to see him back at Villa. Again, me personally. Before me, yes, he was the Championship where he tore his apart there, but he linked in the play.
I'd like to see him at Newcastle. I don't know why.
Yeah, I would. And do you know what?
He'd suit Newcastle.
Yeah.
He would, and I think Newcastle also finally been solved the problem of the years not having a good striker. But I think he will. I think Tuchel will create money in the summer, and I think he will go and sign players to fit the system he actually wants to play. There's a couple of players, to be fair, I was very, very shocked having performed. Ziyech was one of them. We said when he was at Ajax, he was unbelievable. He was so good. He just hasn't got it running. But yeah, Chelsea. I know he's saying he's setting up to get results at the minute, but I think Chelsea got to be scoring more. With the chances they're getting, look, whether it's Werner, Havertz misses hat full of chances. Yeah. They've got to start putting goals in. But will they be that one because they're getting results? Probably not.
Well, we've talked about the forward, but let's talk about the back line. Because Chelsea, what you like about a comment then?
Me? I feel like Roman Abramovich should probably sign me as director of football because I'd like to say all of last summer I was saying I do not understand why Chelsea have not picked up that phone to Thiago Silva. I do not understand. He did it. He's been outstanding this season. He has made, and it's something I said he would do, he's made the players next to him much better.
Yeah.
Kurt Zuma has been fantastic this season. Antonio Rudiger has played very well, to be fair, when he's played. Look, the flank fullback, Reece James, has been fantastic. Ben Chilwell, fantastic as always. What I like about Tuchel is that he sets his back line obviously with 3 in the wing backs, but he's not afraid to pull players. We've seen it, Hudson-Odoi getting pulled because he's not doing his defensive duties. He still expects everything 100% from his back line, but I think for me, Thiago Silva has been a massive, massive boost for them because he's made the players around him much better. He's made bang average centre backs look very good for me.
Yeah. Okay. Next we have Arsenal and Spurs, which is the London derby. What was? You did do a watch along. Sadly, I wasn't there. I was at home.
Yes.
No, we know about that trying to set it up.
We had so many technical issues.
Sadly I was at home. It was Mother's Day. I had to see my mum.
Half-time talks, watch along on Mother's Day.
I do apologise, but it was a 2-1 win for Arsenal. So let's start off with the result. It's amazing for Arsenal beating Spurs. Let's see what. So sorry about my delay here. Just to get the table up.
Spurs are 7th, Arsenal are 10th.
He's already got it for me. But now they're in 8th. Oh no, they are still in 10th.
It's a massive result for Arsenal, regardless of the league table. For confidence, for pride. This season's been awful, but you've been Tottenham. For Arsenal, that's massive. Yeah, okay, it's still been a disappointing season, but that's the kind of result that's going to give them confidence to go on a little run now. And I think
I will say quickly, if Tottenham got the 3 points, the 5th on goal difference. If it would have got there in the derby.
Yeah, but they didn't. And to be quite honest, I think we said it obviously in the watch along for pretty much 80 minutes of the game. And the 10 minutes weren't the last 10 minutes, they were just somewhere in between. It never looked like Tottenham were getting 3 points. They were fantastic. I thought Kieran Tierney was superb. If any of you watched the watch on, I thought Sergio Aurier was shocking and he didn't play.
But Smith for me.
Smith was well.
Yeah, there's probably a couple for Arsenal, to be honest.
They were.
He was definitely.
Yeah, and Joe, and that's what it was really. Obviously we watched it. I'm not saying Spurs were good, and I'm not going to say they were terrible. Arsenal were fantastic.
Yeah. But someone else who had a fantastic moment in that game, Eric Lamela.
I thought you were talking about David Luiz on the right wing.
We
watched that he was superb on the right wing.
Lamela.
He wrote a 0 story into the goal, unbelievable. Should have got a lottery ticket after getting all the probably doing with Bono or something. Now he's on. And then 2 minutes later it was, but the goal's top class. Don't be allowed that. Leonard's got a family at home.
To be honest, I mean, I think our reaction on the day said it all. Madness. It was madness. It was. The question really is, why on earth is he even trying that from there? But he went into it, I was bothered.
It is a strange one to try because,
Not for him.
Not for him.
He's done it before.
It's the only way he shoots.
But that was an amazing goal. You really should be I think he had 2 players in front of him, if I'm not
parties.
Three parties.
That is an outstanding goal. It was, well done, Lamela, if you're watching.
If you're watching, Eric.
But let's talk about the Spurs manager blaming the ref for how they see it.
Are we surprised? Are we actually really that surprised that Mourinho is blaming things? I love Mourinho, he's a fantastic manager, but whenever something goes wrong, and it was a stupid red card, and the penalty was a penalty, don't come out and blame. Stop blaming other things. The reality is Arsenal were the better team. Arsenal were by far the better team. Stop coming out and blaming the officials. The penalty was a stonewall penalty. Absolute. Red card was stupid. It was a red card.
To be honest as well, Lamela had a number of fouls in the first one. On his first yellow card, I actually thought he'd been sent off because he'd made challenges in the first half, but I thought he had to have been booked for. No, I agree with Banksy. We're not surprised by him coming out and making the comments he's made. To be honest, look, I know you can't come out in the London derby. Well, Mourinho wouldn't come out in the London derby and criticise necessarily his team. I know he's done it a lot this season, but I don't think he'd do it in the London derby. I think the red card, and I think Lamella's performance after he's got was just stupid. And do you know what? I think Mourinho will know that. No matter what we say that to the press, I think he probably knows inside. Lamella was even lucky to be on the pitch when he did it. But no, we're not surprised. Do you know what? It's a shame because I remember when Mourinho first came to Chelsea and the personality he brought, the love of football, his press conferences were fun to watch. They were interesting, they were innovative. He was making just not ludicrous remarks, but arrogant. He was arrogant. He had this nice arrogant aura about him, but he was so good that you just accepted it.
Yeah.
I heard on TalkSport he was described by I think it was Sam Jordan or one of the other fellas that when he now comes into a club, he leaves a cloud over that club. You know, and that's, to me, that's never ever a way I'd have ever seen Jose Mourinho. But it is what he's doing. He's the last 2 or 3 clubs, United, obviously Spurs now. His second time at Chelsea. He's not the same man that, you know, we saw coming in first at Chelsea. I don't mean Banksy, but we had a great discussion about this a couple of months ago, and we were saying, you know, if you're Jose Mourinho, what do you do? Do you look? Football's changed. He obviously doesn't like modern football. He's obviously not saying he's not passionate about it, but he obviously doesn't enjoy it. Does he retire and accept that football has changed, or does he? We said, you know, maybe go back to Portugal, didn't we? Maybe Porto or Benfica or, you know, someone like that. Have a project and do well with them. Go back home and manage a club like that. Because he clearly doesn't enjoy modern football anymore. And every week we see it now. He comes out and all he has to say about football, he's moaning about the referees and the officials and what this was wrong, this was wrong. He criticises everyone who criticises him.
Yeah, no, he does.
That's you know, to me and Max had our opinions, but to you two, if you were Jose Mourinho, obviously he's got a Spurs job, but looking at it and looking at the point he's at in his career, what would you two do?
So I think it's a tricky one because obviously Tottenham do well in the Prem, and for him that will be like a reflection on him. It's like, oh, he's managed this great team, but like you're saying, he's just not happy with how football in the Premier League is being played. And for me, if you're not happy with how the game's being played, you shouldn't be in that game. Like you should go somewhere else where you enjoy the football that's being played.
Yeah. Yeah. What I will say, like, on the flip side of that though, is when football's your career, it's your life. It's not something you're just going to turn around and walk away from. Whether you think right now, like, I hate modern football too, in the Prem with all the VAR, all the things like it takes away from what you can sit back down with your mates after and have a conversation about what you think it has, and it's not being done well. Like, I don't think the problem's with VAR.
Yeah,
I do think it's with the officials. Like they have it in the Bundesliga, they have it in Serie A, they have it in the BBVA, or whether it is for sponsorship reasons now, and it works brilliantly, it works quickly, the right decisions are made. Like we've said before, they've gone to a decision off VAR and not looked at the VAR. Like, but I'd be fuming if those things were going against us, which is why I'm glad to support a League One club where we don't have any still proper football.
Which I agree with, but I think a lot of the time when you look at it, and I don't know what you think about this, Banksy, but a lot of the stuff he moans about, but we've said it in the London derby, but a lot of the stuff he's moaned about these days, they're not wrong decisions. A lot of the stuff that is going against, like he says, going against this club, they're not. They are obvious decisions that have been made correctly. And maybe Tottenham have been beat, and they've not played well. And he tries to deflect any criticism about his team. Now, look, some people will say it's brilliant. He's defending his players.
I feel like managers will go out impressed and like defend their players till the day they die. Yeah. Which I think, yes, as much as you have to be honest, but be honest with your lads.
Mourinho just needs to realise every 20 teams that are in the Premier League are on a level playing field. Yeah. They're all going to get hit with wrong VAR decisions, wrong officiating. Like, It happens. It happened before VAR. Like referees get stuff wrong. VAR at the minute, offside wise, get a lot wrong. There's a couple of decisions. I'd say they get more right than wrong. I will say that. I'm not fully against VAR, but I think what Mourinho has to realise is it's happening at every club, not just Tottenham, and so he can't keep blaming stuff like that because it happens at every team. The reality is, in this game, and in different games, different story. You shouldn't come out mourning about it, but the reality is, some games it does cost you. But the reality in this game, don't come out and blame the official because Arsenal were better. When you had 11 men on the field, Arsenal were better.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think that's the times we've seen him criticise it. When I think he knows and he said your team have been better. He looks for a way out.
He probably didn't like that he was outdone by Mikel Arteta, a young manager. Yeah. He was completely outdone by him. And there's no shame in that. The reality is, Mikel Arteta is a young upcoming manager that's worked with Pep Guardiola. I think we need to realise he's good with his tactics. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said he's the best at game management. He said when Arsenal played United, it was 0-0, but he said Arsenal went to like 3 different formations within 10 minutes and they just switched like that. Yeah. He was like, Mikel Arteta has set them up. They just know stuff like that. He'd been outdone by Mikel Arteta. I don't think he liked that.
Well, moving on to Crystal Palace and West Brom, which was a 1-0 defeat, win to Crystal Palace, defeat for West Brom. Have West Brom now sealed their fate with this loss?
I think we've done anyway. It's definitely done. I think the thing that West Brom fans will be hoping for is I think they'll all know they're going down. But I think they'll want to go down like with maybe a bit of pride about them, maybe pick up some more points. And actually, we've said it before. Finish the back end of the season well. Look, we're going to go down regardless. But just to finish this season well, and finish your season strong, it can actually add. Look, obviously you've gone down, but it can make you feel a little bit better about your next season, about coming up. You've seen glimpses of quality in your team. Look, we all in our Super 6 predicted Palace to win. Again, we all would have predicted Palace. But they're the games right there. Even on the back of the season, West Brom have to at least try to have a point. But it's about finishing strongly. But 100%. They're down.
Yeah. Don't think there's much else to add to this. So let's move on to the final match of the week, which was Newcastle against Villa. Well, Aston Villa, if you want to, say the full name.
Give them the full title.
It was a 1-1 draw, which for Villa is shocking. They shouldn't be dropping them 2 points, especially against Newcastle.
It was the lateness of the goal as well.
Yeah.
I can't. What minute was it?
90 plus 4.
For Newcastle, they literally dropped. I mean, they only scored the extra tip, but then to not be able to hold on, it's poor, especially against Newcastle. That aren't really the most attacking side. No. But I think Villa was sitting there being so upset about it. But it's 2 points dropped for them, I think.
Yeah.
But
massive.
Good point for Newcastle. Big point for Newcastle.
You know what? How well Villa have been this season, you can say yes, it's 2 points dropped. But, and I'll say it again, at the back end of the season, like the clubs like Newcastle, Brighton, we've seen it now, right? This is a time where those clubs, they start. I'm not saying they've not been trying, but you step up.
Yeah.
If you know you're not going to get, you step up. Look, Aston Villa had a great season, but those teams will still look at it and go, we can beat Aston Villa.
Yeah.
We can beat Aston Villa, Especially coming through the back end of the season where you need your points, you're trying to pick them up. But I agree with Banksy. I don't think Villa will be too disappointed with it. But I think it's a cracking point for Newcastle. I think Newcastle will just be glad. 94th minute or not, they'll be glad they've walked away with a point. Because a defeat there, with Brighton picking up.
They're on 27 and Fulham on 26.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's a massive. At any point when you're down there, massive. They're huge.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's all the games we have for you this week.
You've actually had an extra long stream. I think you've
got 7 minutes. No, we started late, but we gave you an extra 7 minutes. So
Exactly.
balances out. Thanks everyone for joining in for all the comments. This video will be going up on YouTube right after we come off it. Well, we'll do a bit of editing and upload it, but it should be on tonight at some point.
What else is going on YouTube, Jake?
We have a video tomorrow, our first non-stream or Twitch-related video, where we make a tier list of all the 92 clubs.
Good watch.
Yeah, it is.
It's a good watch.
Some
Great watch.
might be some controversial. I've had a few messages, but
I've also
You'll
had a few
have to
messages.
watch tomorrow.
yeah, but yeah, no, watch tomorrow to find out. But yeah, no, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe on YouTube. And come Saturday as well.
Saturday.
To our
Woo!
Yeah, join on Saturday for our first Saturday, Sunday.
2:30.
Half 2 hours.
Yeah, half 2.
We'll let you know on our
still doing
socials.
Yeah, so follow the socials so you can find out.
Yeah, so that's Instagram, Twitter, and then subscribe on YouTube. I think that is.
On Twitch.
Yeah. So thank you from the Halftime Talk team. And that is us done.
Cheerio. See you Saturday.